ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Hello and welcome to the first edition of AR Predicts. I myself is Mike Thomas and I'm here with, as always, the Gateside Grappler, Hamza the Hammer Hanif. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
Good. How's the training going?
No, yeah. I don't know how big it is really, but yeah, no, things are going well, man. I'm trying to stay in the gym, trying to do dry January as well. So that's
I'm doing what's called a damp January. It's when you
when you drink more.
No. I'm trying to drink slightly less. I'm working my way off the drink. So
I see. You're weaning off the booze. I like it. That's good.
But there's some massive fights for 2023. A lot of done deals and a lot of agreed fights, should we say. So hopefully, potentially, 2023 could be a mega year for boxing. And none other than this weekend on Saturday night at Manchester Arena, a huge fight between Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Beefy Smith. A couple of exciting fights on the undercard as well that I'm excited. We're just going to do this is sort of a first edition of AR Predicts. We're just going to make it short and sweet. We're going to predict for the fight.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's a really interesting fight. I think I'm really excited for it as well because it's the first UK pay-per-view and it's starting to, obviously it's deep into fight week now. The two fighters are starting to go, it's starting to get personal between them. And I think it kind of started off as I think Liam Smith thought Eubank Jr. was quite arrogant and didn't really like him. But as it's gotten closer and closer to the fight, it's actually gotten really personal between the two of them, and they seem to really dislike each other and just not like being in each other's presence. Which always makes a really good fight. So it's been really well promoted as well by Boxer. In the UK, and obviously your stateside, but in the UK, you can't escape this fight. It's everywhere. So I'm really excited because, like I say, it's the first big fight of the year. And it's a really well matched fight. I think. Outside of sort of hardcore boxing fans and mainstream, the mainstream sports world probably doesn't really know very much about Liam Beefy Smith, but he's a very, very good fighter, and he's like an ex-world champion. He's only ever really lost to the elites of the like Munguia is a world-class fighter. Canelo obviously is Canelo, so you know what I mean. You don't really need to go through his resume. He's gonna go down as one of the best of his era. And I'm pretty sure that Russian guy, I can't pronounce his name, Kurbernov, who he lost to recently. Yeah, that was quite a controversial one, and I think I think he got a bit hard done by there. I think he got a bit of an away decision, so to speak, sort of percolating into a really good matchup. Obviously, the added sort of thing about it as well that I like is that Roy Jones is on the scene. Can't be touched, can't be stopped.
Yeah,
it's good to see him just out and about on Sky Sports doing interviews and stuff, man. He's a legend of the sport. So I think I'm anticipating a fantastic fight. I think it's gonna be a bit quiet for the first few rounds, and then I think it's gonna really catch fire and just turn into a real classic. I think it's gonna be a contender for fight of the year, to be honest. And I think because I don't think either one of these guys wants to lose to each other. Eubank Jr. because he thinks he's so much better than him. And Liam Smith, just because he can't stand that type of arrogance and that superiority where somebody just thinks they're better than you. So I think neither fighter is going to want to give an inch. And I think that's going to really turn into a great fight. I'm favouring Eubank Jr. For some reason. I don't know if it's that confidence. I don't know if it's that sort of aura that he has. But I'm fancying a Eubank late stoppage. That's where I'm sort of leaning to, and that's no disrespect to Liam Smith because I think he's a world-class fighter as well. What do you think?
Yeah, no, you made some very good points there. The first thing you made about the stateside not being as familiar with Liam Smith. For those that don't know, he's brothers. They all box professionally, and probably the most famous is El Mundo Smith, who's probably the most successful. Liam being the older one, but he's actually very, very good. A huge amateur background, but he is notably smaller than Chris Eubank, and I would say that Chris Eubank is naturally a middleweight. and Liam Smith is more of a super welterweight. He's about, you know, he fights 10 pounds lighter, generally speaking. He's a 155 pounder, you know, and Eubank's a much bigger guy. Add to that, I would say, you know, Eubank being the bigger man, he's also actually faster. He's got faster hands. And I'd also say he's got more power. For me,
Yeah,
unfortunately,
so
so if this was a personality contest, no disrespect, but I would always prefer Liam Smith because I think he's a nicer guy. I prefer him as a person. But if we're going off boxing skills, alone, everything to me points to a Chris Eubank win. I would say either a late stoppage, a TKO, or I would say a 12-round unanimous decision if he doesn't get the knockout. They're actually surprisingly similar in age. People think that Liam Smith is a lot older because he's just got grey hair and he looks like an old man.
He's a silver fox.
No,
A silver fox.
no offense to him. Yeah, he's only a year older. He's 34 and Chris Eubank is 33, and he's been through some very, very tough fights. Eubank's been through the mill. However, now Eubank has kind of found a new renewed kind of energy, given that he's now with fighters
Can't
of
be
all
touched,
time.
can't be stopped, man. Roy
Can't
Jones
be
Jr.
stopped, can't be touched. Roy Jones Jr., who actually trained in Florida. He's been all over the place, to be honest, but you know, he's an unbelievable fighter, natural talent. I think if he can, if Chris Eubank Jr. can absorb any of that knowledge, any of that natural skill, it's gonna be, to me, I think that Eubank is point. You know, Smith, I think, has got a better defense. He's actually easier to hit, in my opinion, than Chris Eubank, but you can't really get a clean shot of him. He has that he has that like earmuff style.
I think where Eubank might come stuck, because if you look at Eubank's like sort of record and you look at the fight as he's lost against, it was Groves, who's a boxer and like a world-class level boxer, and Billy Joe Saunders, who's a world-class level boxer as well. Obviously, they're both bigger than, both of those fighters are bigger than Smith, you know what I mean? And Groves considerably, you know what I mean? But it's like that's the only thing I think that Liam Smith can actually sort of like that's where his confidence should be, because he does everything really well, like Liam Smith, like boxing wise, and as you like rightly mentioned, he has got a great amateur pedigree. He does come from a fighting family, so he is exceptionally well schooled. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's where Liam Smith will take confidence from.
Yeah, and you mentioned the two losses. You know, they always tell you you've got to bang the boxer and box the banger. And Chris Eubank, he doesn't have, although he's a hard puncher, he doesn't have that one hitter quit. He doesn't have that knockout power. If he gets a knockout, it's a TKO. It's a technical knockout. It'll be a flurry of punches.
One punch to end it, sort of thing. If you look, I was actually on YouTube just before looking at some highlights, and all of his highlights are when he's work rate. It's when he's throwing those insane combos, like, you know, sort of 12, 14, 16 unanswered punches, all hooks, uppercuts, which is amazing that he can do that. But
those uppercuts are lethal, and I think his work rate can't be matched, man. He can't be matched. He unleashes those flurries, and you can tell he works very hard. And I hope he's probably working even harder under Roy Jones and found some more renewed power. But at the same time, if we're playing devil's advocate, Liam Beefy Smith is very durable. We saw him against Canelo. Canelo took a long time. You know, everyone favored Canelo, but it wasn't as easy as everyone thought. You know, it's going to take him a while to work him down, because he's quite a durable.
He's got a good chin as well, Liam Smith, as well. Like, his chin is underrated. He's only ever been stopped by Canelo to the body. You know what I mean?
He's knocked out once. He's only ever been knocked out once professionally against Canelo.
And like I say, that was a body shot. It wasn't a knockout in the sense where he knocked him out cold, like flatlined him. You know, he hit him with a fantastic punch to the body and just took his legs out. But like, we've never ever seen Liam Smith in a position where he has been like sort of, he is, like you say, very durable. You don't see him getting knocked down multiple times, getting back up, and these types of things, you know. So that could also pose another problem for Eubank if he's unleashing these vicious combos and Liam Smith's still there boxing him. That could be a problem, you know.
I was actually listening to Liam Williams, and Liam Williams, the Welsh guy who's fought both of those guys.
Oh yes,
Um,
yeah,
and he said, he's the thing about Beefy Smith is that he might be easy to hit, but you can never land a clean hit on him because his hands are always
yeah,
he's always blocking. He'll
because he's
always
very
block.
defensively sound, isn't he?
Yeah, so you'll hit him on the shoulder, you'll hit him on the arm, you'll hit him on the gloves a lot, but you won't. It's hard to get a clean shot. Hence, probably why he's only been knocked out once by Canelo.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm still favoring Eubank. I just think he's a bigger guy and he's fast.
I think when you look at both of them, Eubank has got more in the tank. Both of them have had long careers. They've been pros for over a decade. But I think if you look at the two fighters now as they currently are, I think Eubank has got more in the tank right now.
Yeah. So also if we didn't already discuss this, you're actually going to the event. Hopefully, you'll be able to get some. Are you ringside or where are you sitting?
Yes, no, I'll be ringside. Yeah, luckily I managed to get some
It'd be
decent seats.
fantastic if you get some good footage on that. I think Richard
Yeah.
Riakporhe as well. He's on the undercard. Who is
Big Joe Parker's on there as well, man. So it's gonna be a great night of boxing. To be fair,
I'll tell you, be honest with you, the 3 fights on the undercard I'm interested in. Huge, big cruiserweight Richard Riakporhe, right?
yeah,
Joe Parker looking for another comeback, easy KO. I'm hoping he's no disrespect to Massey, but I think he's not really a heavyweight, so I'm expecting Joe Parker to get a clean knockout with that one. Plus, we've got also Fraser Clark on the undercard, who's an up-and-coming heavyweight as well. 2 big monster heavyweights, plus a huge cruiserweight and Richard Riakporhe. Great 3 undercard fights, mate. Very excited for those. Hopefully, we'll get some good highlight reel knockouts we can put on the YouTube channel as well. Mate, there's a lot of potentially amazing fights this year. You've got, Anthony Joshua coming back. He's got the potential fight with Franklin. You've got Usyk, Tyson Fury potentially being made.
They're chirping at each other.
You've got April. You've got Ryan Garcia and Tank. Another amazing fight, mate. It could potentially be a very, very good year for boxing.
You've got Benavidez versus Plant. That's in the works. For early summer.
What an amazing fight that will be. So many.
And it looks like, and this is just very early rumors, but it does actually look like Canelo might be coming to the UK in the summer as well to fight Ryder. So that's going to be another one to watch as well.
Another one, mate. And that has been our first edition of Another Round Predicts. Very exciting year in store ahead.